right, y'all, I will be back. Y'all, we have the documents, the superseding indictment. There has been a new charge filed on the superseding indictment. And y'all, we here at the lounge have the superseding indictment that was filed just today, you guys, March 6, 2005. And basically it's adding the forced labor in the superseding indictment. Hey, loving myself, how are you, hon? Hey, queen, y'all, this is breaking news. You guys just got this. Hey, D Dot, how are you? Y'all, we just got this. This is hot off the press. Just got this superseding indictment adding forced labor over here. You guys, it just came in. This is breaking news. It came in today, which is the 6th of March, you guys, and it's a superseding indictment. And in the superseding indictment, it adds forced labor in there, you guys. The forced labor has been added in there, and you guys, we are going to get into it. We are going to see what this new superseding indictment has. We know that it, of course, it has information on the forced labor, but y'all, I'm telling you, when I say that the feds are going to pin Diddy to the wall, they are going to. Hey, Lord, D. Dot, Yolanda, Tina Daughtery, Loving Myself, Art of War, Queen Keish. Hey everybody, y'all, welcome in. This is breaking news, but y'all, we are going to get into it. We are going to break it down. This is coming from the United States District, Southern District of New York, you guys. Superseding indictment. It was just filed and dropped today, you guys, and we are gonna get into it, you guys. Let me see where we're at. It says count one, racketeering conspiracy. The grand jury charges. It has an overview. On number two, let me see. I'm sorry. On number one of the document, we are going to go ahead and read. It says, for decades, Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka Diddy, aka P. Diddy, and all of his aliases, right? The defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees' resources, influences of the multifaceted business empire that led and controlled, created a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in it and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, the forced labor, that's the one that was just added today to the indictment, you guys. Kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. OMG. So that was added on part one of the superseding indictment. They added that part in there, but also let me see. Let me see. They have they have, let me see, they have a lot of more portions in the superseding indictment, but we are going to continue to read it. Let me see. Hold on just a second. But yeah, this just dropped, so this is breaking news. D-Dot says, yeah, Diddy did it all. He sure did, D-Dot. And we know he did everything under the sun, right? He did everything under the sun. So let me see. Let me see this one. Hold on. Okay, so let me see. So this one, like I said, it was dropped today, and it had the forced labor added in there. So that is a new charge as far as I see in this says yeah, the forced labor. So it says, okay, so number two says Sean Combs and all his aliases, the AK, whatever, P. Diddy, AKA Love. The defendant operated his business headquartered at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a variety of United States-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprise, and Combs Global, collectively the Combs business. Corporate entities in the Combs business included, among other things, record labels, recording studios, and apparel line. Y'all know he has Sean John, an alcoholic spirits business. Y'all know he had the Ciroc, and marketing agency, and a television network, which was I forget the name. What's the network, the television network he has? I forget, a media company. But y'all, he did a lot. He y'all know he did a lot. So number 3 says, at all times relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs, with all his AKAs, right? The defendant engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse towards women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in orchestrated performances of sexual activity with Combs, and at times with Combs and male commercial sex workers. Oh my God, y'all. Oh my God. Wow. At times, Combs and others, acting at his discretion, made arrangements for women and commercial sex workers to fly to Combs' location. Is that not trafficking? Flying somebody out for means of sex, that is a trafficking right there, you guys. So it says Combs ensured participation from women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them. What the Tootsie, the pills, all kind of stuff, right? So it says he was giving them narcotics. He was giving narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveling his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same, and using intimidation and violence. Oh my goodness. Yes, absolutely. It's crazy. Oh my God. So number 4 says physical abuse by Sean Combs and all of his AKAs. The defendant was recurrent and widely known. We know Diddy was very famous, right? I mean, everybody knows Diddy, right? So it says, on numerous occasions from at least in or about 2009 and continuing on for years, y'all, Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking them. Oh my goodness, striking them, punching them, dragging them, throwing objects at them, and kicking them. OMG, y'all. Wow. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, y'all, this is really, really crazy. Wait, Brassard said, I'm scared I'm black. Trump will deport me to. You is the best. Oh my God, Brassard, you is too much. Let's continue, guys, because I mean, y'all, he was doing a lot. He was doing a lot, y'all. It says right here that he was oh my goodness, he was, let me see, let me go back, you guys, because it said that he was let me see, kicking them, he was striking them, he was punching them, he was throwing objects at them and dragging them. Y'all, could y'all imagine being in a place and this is happening? Y'all getting drugged, y'all getting slapped, crackled, and popped. I mean, all kind of stuff, y'all. I'm telling you, this is crazy. So it says, Combs' violence was also not limited to these women. It extended to his employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. Do y'all remember? Remember, he was doing stuff to his chef. Remember, he was wilding out on her and other people too. Yes, D-Dot, bad environment, totally bad, right? When he was doing all these bad things to his employees too. Y'all, I'm telling you guys, Diddy is going to not see the light of day ever again. But y'all, let's continue with this new superseding indictment added charge. So it says, on one occasion at a Los Angeles hotel in or about March 2016, this is Cassie, I believe, which was captured on video and later publicly reported, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman as she was attempting to leave. I believe that's Cassie now. I believe that one is Cassie. It says, when a member of the hotel security staff intervened, Combs attempted to bribe the staff member to ensure silence. What did he say? He wanted them to keep their mouth shut. He didn't want nobody to say nothing. Hey, you ain't heard nothing. Let me pay you some money. You ain't heard nothing. You ain't seen nothing. Did you see me do this? No, you ain't seen me do this. Okay, here's $50 million. $50,000, because that's what he was doing, paying off people $50,000 for hush money. That's what he was doing. But y'all, let's continue. So it says, when a member of the hotel security staff intervened, Combs attempted to bribe the staff member to ensure silence. Subsequently, Combs, with the assistance of several closer associates, paid hotel security staff $100,000 for the hotel surveillance footage of the assault. Now, did he pay them the $100,000 and he took the tape and stashed it with his other tapes over there at the freak off dungeon? I think so, because this tape somehow got out. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this hotel is closed, I think, right? Dida says, Diddy kicking and screaming to get out, but it's too late. Oh, yes, it's late. D-Dot, it is way late. Solo says, women with power abuse also. Oh, yes, they do, Solo. I totally agree with that, too. I do. But, y'all, let's continue. Sean Combs, with all his AKAs, the defendant used the Combs business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his acts of violence, abuse, and commercial wrecks. Y'all, was Miss yes, that's what I was about to say. D-Dot, was Miss Janice the freak off queen? Was she the one that was doing that, right? Was she the one holding his bad deeds, a secret, and she was, allowing him to do these things? Diddy was, he didn't even have no allegiance to her, because Diddy, they say he was slapping his mama around, so he was probably slapping her around and telling her, you better not tell what's going on in these four corners, right? I'm just saying. So y'all, let's continue. It says these employees included security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors, and other close associates acted as Combs intermediaries, and their conduct was facilitated and assisted by Combs' control of the Combs business. Y'all, it's going down, I'm telling you. The Combs enterprise, from at least 2004 through in or about 2024, Sean Combs, with all of his AKAs, the defendant and others, known and unknown, were members and associates of the criminal organization. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, and among other activities, Rex trafficking, there goes the forced labor again, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of the P word, coercion and enticement to engage in the P word, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. OMG, y'all. Number 7, it says the Combs enterprise includes its leadership, its members, and its associates, constituted an enterprise as defined by Title 18, United States Code Section 1961, parentheses 4, that is a group of individuals associated, in fact, although not a legal entity. The Combs enterprise consisted of Sean Combs, with all of his AKAs, the defendant, entities within the business, Combs business, including but not limited to Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprise, and Combs Global. Individuals employed by and associated with the Combs business, others known and unknown. Y'all, I'm telling you, the feds are not playing with Diddy. They are trying to make sure that his back is pinned up against the wall. It already is, right? But they're making sure that he don't even come off the wall, not even a pinch, not even a hair, right? So it says, let's continue what it says. So it says that Combs Enterprise consisted of ongoing organization whose members function as a continuing unit for a common purpose of achieving the objects of the Combs Enterprise, right? The Combs enterprise was engaged in and its activities affected interstate and foreign commerce. Y'all remember when Mr. What's his name? Hey. How you doing? Hey. Remember when the feds, Mr. Damon, what's his name? Damon, he sent the feds over to UK to go and find out what is going on over there with Diddy, because they got some intel that Diddy was cutting up over there in the UK too. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? So is this the interstate and foreign commerce that they're talking about? I mean, I want to know. I want to know what the results were, what the disposition was when the feds went over to UK, because they said people were calling over there and say, hey, y'all need to come over here and check up on your American citizen, Diddy Combs. He was over here cutting up with our people, and we need to talk to y'all about that. So I don't know what happened, but y'all, let's continue. So it says the Combs enterprise operated in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere. It says at all times to this indictment, Sean, with all of his AKAs, the defendant, was the leader of the Combs enterprise. Y'all, they're saying right there, he was a head NIC in charge, right? He was a head, he was the ringleader, right? He was the ringleader, and that's why he is in the shackles. But y'all, they are saying that on Monday that they are going to start naming some of them, what people who was doing the co-conspirators, I believe it said Ticket TV pretty much was saying. So let's continue, you guys. I mean, this is crazy. So it says Sean Combs, with all of his AKAs all over again, the defendant and others known and unknown, participated in unlawful and other activities to the conduct of the Combs enterprise affairs. These individuals, certain Combs business employees, such as members of Combs, the security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors, as well as other Combs associates. Y'all, I'm telling you, Diddy is going to be all the way in trouble. This is just maybe what, 9 or 10 days away from the 13th, the 14th of March, that the superseding indictment. So now they're pushing more in this superseding indictment to add to what is already in there. So, oh my goodness, y'all, I'm telling you, this is crazy. D-Dot says they should be held accountable. Everybody should be, D-Dot. Absolutely. Lord says, I just said that I believe Diddy was a cult member of leader. But yes, I believe so. King of B More says this is crazy. Yes, it is crazy. But they are just adding this. This is breaking news. They have added the forced labor to this situation. But the forced labor, do y'all remember also, it comes to mind, and I'm not sure, I'm just thinking how I would kind of take it. But are you guys thinking about like Little Rod? Remember Little Rod? He said he was doing the Love album. He did everything, doing this, that, and the third. And then he never paid him. He said he ain't never got paid from doing the Love album. So is that considered forced labor if you're really not paying somebody and you're forcing them to work and do this and do that? I mean, I don't know. I'm wondering if that is that portion for the forced labor, a part of it, because there might be a lot of other forced labors. Because y'all remember when they had the remember when they did the docuseries and the guy with the, I forget his name, with the green eyes, he came and said that Diddy made him, clap this other, another female's cheeks, and he didn't like that. And he said, it felt like, maybe Diddy clapped his cheeks. I don't know. But remember, he was saying that he was doing a lot of stuff for Diddy too, which I didn't even know who he was. He just kind of fell out there and was known on the docuseries for doing stuff, for Diddy, but he was one of his personal assistants. But y'all, I don't know. Maybe that is a portion of it. Like I said, I don't know. But y'all, let's continue. So it says the purpose, purposes of the Combs enterprise. The purposes of Combs enterprise included the following: operating a global business in the media, entertainment, and lifestyle industries, including, among other things, record labels, a recording studio and apparel line, an alcohol spirits business, a marketing agency, and a television network. and media company. Okay, they said that above there, but I guess this is the portion for the purposes of the Combs enterprise. Y'all, this is, I mean, this is wild, y'all. This is crazy. But it says preserving, protecting, promoting, and enhancing the power, reputation, and brand of Sean Combs, aka all of his aliases, the defendant as a musician, entrepreneur, and figure in the entertainment industry, enriching members and associates of the enterprise, including its leaders, Combs. See, they're calling him a leader. So he was a leader, like you guys said. He was a ringleader. It says in the indictment. It says in the superseding indictment. Yeah, it says it's including its leader, Combs. So they are saying that he was a ringleader, basically. I mean, that's how I'm taking it. Put a 1 in the chat if that's how y'all are taking it too. He was the ringleader, and that's why this RICO charge is, is being put in place, because they see that he was a ringleader of this situation. Yes, absolutely. So it says, let me see, enriching members and associates of the enterprise, including its leader, Combs, right? And its particular, those who demonstrated loyalty to Combs and willingness to conceal his crimes. So you guys, we know that there was a lot of people, right? There was a lot of people that was concealing his crimes and what he was doing, right? I mean, there was people that knew what was going on and didn't say a word, right? Seeing people getting, beat up, drugged, rugged, dragged, slapped. They said they were banging heads on people, on cars, all kind of horrible things, right? Y'all smash the like button. Y'all, I'm telling you, this is crazy. So it says to conceal his crimes, and then they list his crimes. They say preserving, protecting, promoting, and enhancing the power of the Combs enterprise, including the power of its leader. They calling him out. They saying that he is a leader. Combs, through violence, use of firearms, threats and violence, coercion, and verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. Y'all, I'm telling you, yes, lots of participants, a whole lot of them, right? This is crazy. But let me see what else it says. So then it says, enabling Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise to engage in unlawful acts of violence, including sexual violence, trafficking, forced labor. See, y'all, the forced labor is what was added in this one today. Forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of the P word, coercion and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics distribution. Oh, they saying basically he was running a whole rug situation. He had a rug ring too. I mean, isn't that what the little young boy got arrested for? What's his name? The little young boy that was his rug mule. Y'all remember that? So was that the narcotics distribution portion of it? I'm just saying, y'all. It says, and other crimes and concealing the commission of such acts. Oh my goodness. Securing absolute loyalty from members of the Combs enterprise, including through acts of violence and threats, and protecting the Combs enterprise and its members and associates, including Combs, from detection and prosecution by the law enforcement authorities through acts of intimidation. So he was intimidating people. Like, you better not call, you better not do this, you better not do that, because I'm going to come and send my goons. We already know that Diddy was good for that, right? From what we hear in the research now, I heard that he liked it says intimidate, manipulate, bribery, and threats of retaliation against individuals who witnessed the crimes committed by members and associates of the enterprise. Oh my God. Welcome back, D-Dot. Yes, oh my goodness. So it says the means and the methods of the enterprise. Among the means and methods by which Sean Combs, with all of his AKAs, right? The defendant and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise conducted and participated in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise including the following. Let's see what it included, y'all. Let's see. So it says Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs' role at the Combs enterprise, at the Combs business, to intimidate. This is what he did. So he made them, he intimidate them, threatened them. Oh my goodness. He intimidated them. He threatened them. Oh my God. Oh wow. And lured female victims into Combs' orbit. So did he go and have these people go and recruit these women for him? I mean, we heard of that before, right? I heard that they were recruiters, that they were going out trying to find females. I think even his sons too, you guys. I think his sons too were going out there recruiting females so they can be with it says luring female victims into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Oh my God, y'all. OMG. So they were having people go out and lure female victims into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Whoa. Wow. Okay, y'all, let's continue. It says Combs then forced threats of force and coercion to cause victims, including but not limited to 3 females, victim 1, victim 2, and victim 3. Oh my goodness, to engage in commercial acts. In connection with the commercial Rex acts, Combs provided the victims with, among other things, monetary payments, career opportunities, and payment of rent and housing expenses. So is that the part where he was basically like pimping them out, like, making them work for, doing a little something strange for a little bit of change? I think so. Because when he's coming and he is trying to have a false pretense of a romantic relationship, and then they clapping, cheeks, he's clapping their cheeks, and then he's paying them monetary payments, giving them career opportunities and payments of rent. If that ain't what I see straight through this of what that is, I don't know what it is. I mean, does that sound like it was pimping out being a P word for Diddy? The trafficking. I mean, he was getting these girls, from what it sounded like, he was getting these women. He had recruiters. He had recruiters going out finding women and then bringing them to Diddy, and then under false pretenses wanting them to have a romantic relationship with him. And then he used force, he threatened them, coercion, and caused victims, including but not limited to 3 females, victims 1, 2, and 3, to engage in commercial. Didn't Cassie say that, remember that guy in Florida, Jonathan Audie? Y'all remember Jonathan Audie? Y'all remember when Jonathan Audie was in the police custody? Remember he had on the little gown and he was over there, singing like a songbird. Y'all remember that? He was singing like a songbird and telling everything he knew and experienced when he went to go have the freak off with Cassie and Diddy. He was saying, and I heard this, and I heard that he was a part of the Borley, and y'all, he was singing and telling everything. And he was like, he told them that, they gave him the hot box. They were passing around the hot box and he got the hot box. Y'all remember that? I was like, he over here singing soprano. Oh my goodness. And then the police officer, he was almost like he didn't want to hear it. He's like, okay, that's enough. That's enough, Jonathan Audie. That's enough. I don't want to hear no more. I don't want to hear no other freaky stuff. I don't want to hear about the rest of the freak off when you were there. But y'all, he had 2 jobs that night when he went to the freak off dungeon. Y'all, he was ear hustling, eye hustling. He was listening to the conversations that Diddy was having with other people. Then when he went to the police and got in trouble, because y'all remember he powed up the Trump Towers, remember? So he got, arrested, he got apprehended, and then he was in there snitching, telling on Diddy, talking about he was a Rex worker for them, and he was clapping Cassie's cheeks, and Diddy, they were having the whole freak off situation. So yes, he went in there and he was telling. So that's where I believe the commercial Rex, he was a part of that situation. I believe. Now, where's Jonathan Audie at? I don't know. Maybe they have him in hiding because the feds want to make sure that he is, over there in the corner, so he is ready to go and sing like a songbird on the feds stand. I'm just saying, hey, baby, Jamil says salute, beautiful. Salute to you too, baby. Welcome in. My baby says smash the like button. Yes, y'all, smash the like button, you guys. Hit the like button. Let's get those likes up because this situation is breaking news, you guys. I'm telling you, it is hot off the press. This is actually from today. They filed this superseding indictment, another part to add in the forced labor. And y'all, this is hot on the press. Y'all, this is crazy. So Diddy was basically in this section. He basically was, P word, Rex trafficking, paying these women to, do whatever it was, and then paying their rent, giving them money, and promising them careers, right? So let's continue. It says some of the commercial Rex acts involved male commercial Rex workers and were referred by Combs. Didn't I just say Jonathan Audie? He was one of the male freak off dragons. This was, it says right here. It says, y'all, let's read it together. It says right here. It says some commercial Rex acts. Let's read it together. It says right here. In part B right here, and this is, like I said, this is today. Let me go back up. So this is today, filed today, March 6, 2025. So it was just filed today. So y'all, let's see right here where it says B. Y'all see B right here. So it says some of the commercial Rex acts involved male commercial workers, right, and were referred to by Combs as, among other things, freak-offs. Freak-offs were elaborate and produce Rex performances that Combs arranged, directed. Oh my goodness, the M word. Y'all, do y'all see that word? Oh my goodness. And often electronically recorded. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of other members and associates of the Combs enterprise, transported and caused to be transported, oh my goodness, commercial Rex workers across state lines and internationally. Whoa! Internationally? Y'all, internationally. Was that internationally? I do believe the internationally portion. I believe the international portion was a part of it. Was, like I said, when Damon from the Fed sent them people over there, his federal agents to UK, because like I said, UK was like, hey, you got an American that is over here cutting up in our territory, in our land. You need to come over here and do some investigations because we don't appreciate y'all people coming over here in our land cutting up. And they're probably like, well, who was a person? Can you give us a name? Yes, Diddy, the freak-off master who has freak-off dungeons everywhere to include over here in the UK. Yes, they went over there. Damon sent the people over there. I don't know what happened, but we're going to find out May 5th. We're going to find out what they found out over there in the UK. So I believe that trafficking portion, when it says, when it says across state lines and internationally, y'all, that includes UK, I believe. I'm just saying, I believe UK and what other countries? I don't know. Were there other countries involved besides there? I heard Dubai, and I heard UK. I'm not sure. I know the feds went and talked to the people in UK for sure about Diddy. But y'all, let's continue. And it says, wait, hold on. Let me back up just a little bit, because it said they electronically recorded some of these freak offs. So is that some of the information and some of the intel that the feds have? I believe so. Some of the discovery, what they found at Diddy's house, I believe so. So it says, in arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of other members, right? Probably his mama, right? Miss Janice, she was a whole freak-off. She was the head freak-off mermaid in charge, right? It was members and associates of the Combs Enterprise transported and caused to be transported commercial Rex workers across state lines and internationally. Freak-offs occur regular. Did Diddy ever get tired of having a freak-off? Like, did his body ever say we tired? Can we don't want to operate today? Can you just take a break for one day, Diddy? I don't think so. Diddy, but y'all, they say he was on the Tootsie, on the all them rugs and stuff. So that's probably what kept him going, right? That's probably what kept him going at all times, right? Because they say I never been on no drug, never tried them anything. I never have. But one thing they are saying that I've heard, that these rugs will make you stay up for long periods of time and do all kind of crazy stuff. I'm going to have to research that too, because they're saying that's the type of rugs that he was on. So it says freak-offs occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days. Y'all, who in the world is freaking off for, what is it? What did it say? Hold up, y'all. What did it say? Hold up. It said the freak-offs lasted multiple days. Y'all, where they do that at, y'all? It had to be those rugs, right? I'm saying it had to, right? I'm just saying it had to be those rugs, because there's no way a normal person would be doing all this for multiple days at a time, right? Multiple days, that's a long time, right? I mean, who is freaking off for that long? Oh my goodness, Kitty said a freakathon. Yes, it was a freakathon. Oh my God. Is that why Diddy's mom and Diddy needed to get the what's it called? The rehydration IV in the arm? Dida says, yeah, Diddy freaked off all the time. Yeah, was there a time? I mean, according to this superseding indictment, it says that the freak-offs lasted multiple days. Oh my God. Hey, coffee cups, how are you? Welcome in. Y'all, this is crazy. I would have been like, oh my God, y'all, I'm telling you, if I went there and they talk about you freaking off for days at a time, I would have been like, I ain't signed up for that program. Who is freaking off for that many days at a time, right? Who got the energy to be freaking off for multiple days? Multiple days. Like, you ain't hit no clock. Did y'all go and take showers? Did y'all take a break? Did y'all go get some water? Did y'all hydrate? Did you feed the people? Did you feed the freak-off mermaids and the freak-off dragons within those multiple days? Or it lasted multiple days? I mean, y'all, this is crazy. Like, where they do that at? I don't know. But anyway, y'all, let's continue. It says, and often involved multiple commercial Rex workers. During the freak-offs, Combs distributed a variety of substances to his victims. So he wanted to make sure that them victims was freak-off ready. Because y'all remember, he went on the Conan O'Brien show, and what did he say? He said, you got to turn the heat up on high. You got to give them the alcohols. You got to give them water. And then you got to lock the door to make sure the freak-off mermaids and the freak-off dragons don't escape. That's what he said, y'all. I'm just saying, that's what he said. And then he was over there sitting in the corner playing with himself and then recording it. Y'all, if that ain't crazy and sick, people are in whatever they're in, right? But this was a whole freak-off operation organization. And then y'all remember he had the 1,000 bottles of baby oil? And then Diddy's lawyer, he is so slow. Him is so slow. He gonna talk about, well, he just like to keep the baby oil in stock. Sir, whenever somebody has 1,000 bottles of anything, does that not look like an operation, look like a business? It is operating, sir? But see, Diddy's lawyer, that's why I'm saying Diddy lawyer, Diddy might as well hang it up because his lawyer, y'all, I'm telling you, he's already sinking to the bottom of the ocean floor. I'm just saying, y'all know, he's a little special, right? He gonna say, well, he just wanted to keep stock. Who's keeping stock of 1,000 bottles of baby oil, right? Do you know that them $1,000 bottles of baby oils, they could have lasted like the whole United States, probably a very long time, right? I mean, all the baby units, like the nurseries and the daycares. I mean, they could have used all them thousands of bottles probably for some years, right? 1,000 bottles. Y'all know it only takes a few drops to put on your skin or lube up on your legs, your feet, or whatever. 1,000 bottles, and then it come to find out that wasn't even baby oil. That was the freak off oil to get them people ready for the freak off, right? Oh my goodness. It says, okay, so let's continue, y'all. I'm telling you, this is crazy. It says, sometimes unbeknowing to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in Rex acts and commercial Rex workers. Oh my goodness. It says, after the freak-offs, Combs and the victims received, what did I say? Received the IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and the rug use. Y'all, these freaking off. Days freaking off, y'all. Could y'all imagine days freaking off? Y'all got them rugs in your system. Y'all is tired. It's hot in the room. It's sweaty, probably funky. It's all get out, smelling like everything. Fresh cut onion, smelling like the boo boo, smelling like the B word, smelling like everything under the sun. That room was probably so funky and nasty and disgusting after days of freaking off. I mean, that is crazy. Did I say doo-doo on your doo-doo on your chest? I mean, on the walls, on the blanket, on the floor. I mean, baby oil everywhere, or the GHB, which that's what the Fed said it was. Y'all, I'm telling you, that room was probably funky as all get. They probably had to air it out probably for like months at a time. That room was probably so funky. It was just, I mean, a whole disgrace. Y'all, that is crazy. But y'all, let's continue. So it says members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, is that KK? Was a high-ranking supervisors. Was that KK, you guys? Security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and other Combs business employees facilitated the freak-offs by, among other things, you guys, booking hotel rooms for the freak-offs, stocking the rooms in advance with the required freak-off supplies, including controlled substances, the baby oil, the lubrication, the extra linens and lighting, cleaning the hotel rooms after the freak off. Y'all, if that was me and I had to do that, clean up after the freak off, I'd be like, I need a gas mask. I need the whole white suit, though, the hazmat suit. I need the whole hazmat suit, right? This is crazy. Oh my goodness. So it said, cleaning the whole hotel's room after the freak-offs to try to mitigate room damage, arranging for travel for the victims, commercial Rex workers, and Combs to the freak-offs, resupplying Combs with requested supplies. Oh my God, y'all, this is crazy. Delivering large sums of cash. Y'all remember when Mr. Busby said when he first started took on those cases with the minors? Y'all remember he said that there was laws that they probably broke, remember? Because how are you getting all this cash? How are you getting all this cash? Because the banks, they have the federal regulation, you can only withdraw so much a day. And Diddy was paying these people as much as $10,000 hush money to go away when they came in there and they looked around and they was like, what in the world is this? He was like, shut up. take this $10,000 and get out of here and don't let me ever see you again. So if he was running a rug enterprise, I believe some of that money, that hush money, was coming from that entity, from them, the rugs, I don't know. I'm just saying, because there's no way they can go to the bank and get that much money for hush money, you guys. That much money for hush money. So y'all, so let's continue. So it said he was delivering large sums of cash. They were delivering large sums of cash to Combs to pay commercial Rex workers and scheduling the delivery of the IV fluids. So they were paying the workers as they were coming off the 3 or 4 days of the freak offs. They was paying them money and they was hydrating them with the IV fluid so they can get back on their feet, so they can make sure that their body was rehydrated, and then sending them on about their way. It says in or around about March 2024, during searches of Combs' residence in Miami, Florida, and in Los Angeles, California, law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubrication. But we know that when they got these 1,000 bottles of baby oil, quote unquote, they sent them to the laboratory. And what did the laboratory results come back? That this was GHB, which GHB was really the freak off concoction rug that was getting them ready, because that's what Diddy was saying. We like to, get them ready, get them loosen up, turn the heat on, give them some water, give them the alcohols, right? I'm telling you, this is crazy. This is really, really crazy. Just there for the last says freak off oil. Yes, it was a freak off oil. Yes, the lubricant, the freak off oil, they was getting them ready. And then after the freak off, like I said, they're saying in this superseding indictment. I mean, y'all, I want y'all to read it with me. The superseding indictment, it says that they were right there delivering large sums of cash to Combs to pay commercial Rex workers and scheduling the delivery of the IV fluids. Y'all, I'm telling you, this is crazy. Diddy thinks that, Diddy's lawyer, hold on, let me put my phone back. Diddy's lawyer thinks that he's going to get off with all of this stuff that the feds are like, accusing him of, because he's innocent till proven guilty, but he's being accused of this stuff, right? And I really think that once they come on the even on the 14th, you guys, it's going to be some bombshells that's going to be probably let out by the feds, right? Because Diddy's lawyer is like, no, he didn't do that. He didn't traffic nobody. He didn't do the minor thing. But you guys, I don't think they're going to put the minors in here yet. Watch. The minors, I believe, is going to be the bombshell. That is like the whole big old bomb that's going to explode once they want to release that information. Watch. Because like I said, there was evidence, according to one article I read, of minors. And then when that happened, I read the article, y'all, they made them retract that and take that out of there. They were like, we don't want them to know about the minors. But then after that, that's when Mr. Busby came out and he said, any of the minors that were abused, by Diddy, call this 1-800 number. Do y'all remember that? And that's when I said, I know they have some kind of evidence of minors. Do y'all remember Tanae? Remember Tanae was saying that she went to one of Diddy's parties. She thought she was supposed to be singing. And then it was almost like it was a possible trafficking situation for her. And she seen the little girls over there dressed in the Harajuka, looking like Harajuka Barbies with like the lipstick. They dressed up. You know what a Harajuka Barbie looks like? Beautiful Barbies, beautiful, right? And when she said, what are they doing? Are they filming? Are they having some kind of filming going on today or something? And then when she went over there, it's like they were trying to protect and cover up the kids. They didn't want them to see them, but she said she's seen them. Now, was that the portion? And did she talk to the feds about the Harajuka Barbies and kids being there? I believe so. I do believe so, you guys. But y'all, let's continue. So it says Combs subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to cause the victims to engage in freak-offs and commercial sex acts. Y'all know they said he had them pow pows. And remember, some of the pow pows, the serial number was obliterated. And that's a federal offense. Whenever there is a weapon with the serial number and it is defaced, obliterated, scraped out, y'all, that's a charge in itself, right? So it said Combs maintained control over his victims, among other things, through physical violence, promises of career and financial opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support by other coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts. Oh my goodness. He put tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victim's appearance. Remember, they said that they had to weigh in. Remember, they said they had to weigh in because y'all remember when Misha. Remember when Misha was saying that she was a Diddy victim, that she was a girl on the DNG with the DNG shirt on, sitting on Diddy's lap, and then we like, no, Misha, you did not even meet the qualifications. You couldn't even come probably a mile within Diddy's mansion. You need to go sit down and stop lying. And then she was getting cash apps and all kind of things, and saying that she was a victim, and the DNG girl that was sitting on Diddy's lap. And then the DNG girl that was sitting on the lap, her lawyer actually came out and said, we're not representing her. I don't know that woman. Who is she? She knows she about 500 pounds overweight. She didn't even qualify for Diddy's program. So where's she come from? And she lied, and she was doing the most, y'all, the most on the coast. Do y'all remember that? So yes, he made them weigh in, and Misha did not qualify. He was like, girl, we need to get you on the big girl program, and we'll see you in about 3 years. Okay. But I'm just saying. So yes, he made them weigh in because the victim's appearance. Remember, on some of the lawsuits, they were saying that Diddy made them weigh in, right? So with the appearances, they had to be skinny. But let's be for real. Let's be honest, because Diddy had a type. I mean, look at Cassie, look at Kim. Did he not have a type as far as females? Now we know he liked the men more than he liked the females. Let's just be for real on that, right? He wasn't studying no females. That was just eye candy for his shoulder. So I mean, for his arm, so he could go and take them down on the red carpet and stuff like that. Because otherwise, Diddy, he didn't really want no woman. I don't think he really wanted a woman. He wanted the men's. That's why everybody was like, why is he keeping this a secret that he is he likes the men's? I don't know why, but I think that's why. But anyway, so yes, Diddy had a certain type of women, and it was their appearance. They had to be thin, because they would have been like, no, on the lounge, you is too big. We need to see you in about a year and a half. You can come back in a year and a half on the program. I wouldn't even invite myself to a situation like that. But I'm just saying, Misha was a lie. She did not fit the qualifications. But yes, the appearance, yes, he wanted them to be thin and skinny. Welcome back, D-Dot. He wanted them to be skinny, thin, and fine in the face and thin in the waist, right? Let's just call it what it is. So it says monitoring their medical records, because y'all remember with Cassie, they were saying that she was, I think she had like breast implants. Then he was controlling her, making them take them out and all kind of crazy stuff with the medical portion. So yes, he was controlling the medical portion, controlling their housing. Y'all remember he put Kim in his house. The house was his. And then he put surveillance cameras up because he wanted to know what was going on in her house. He wanted to hear and see what was going on. I'm telling you, that was his house. They said that she passed away in. He was controlling her by that mean, and supplying them with controlled substances. Remember, they said that KK was giving everybody them the fanny packs, and it had rugs in it. So whenever Diddy was running, whenever his rug tank was like going on E, you had to refill them. You had to go in your little fanny pack and give him some of that pink stuff or the pills or whatever it was that he was needing. So that's where the controlled substances came in. It says during and separate from the freak offs, y'all, and other commercial Rex acts, Combs, among others, oh my goodness, y'all, hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims at times by their hair. Oh my goodness. He was doing the most, y'all. He was doing the most. It says these assaults often resulted in injuries that took days or weeks to heal. Do y'all remember the lady that was doing, I think she was a makeup lady. Remember the Asian lady? Hey, Laura Lee, welcome in. Remember the Asian lady? She went on, I think it was CNN, and she was like I think she was Diddy's makeup artist. And remember, she said she seen Cassie one time and he, beat her up really bad. He beat Cassie up really bad. And she tried to get Cassie to come so they could try to get her friend who was a doctor to try to help heal Cassie. And they had to go over there like in hiding. And she was even scared when she was even telling the story. I believe it was on CNN. She was even scared. And then she was on the docuseries too. But that lady, she was even scared, just telling the story, because I guess Diddy was so intimidating. It was really scary for her to even say anything. But I believe that's when it was with, the healing portion where it says during the separate freak off, during and separate from the freak-offs, other commercial Rex acts, Combs, among others, hit, kicked, and threw objects and dragged victims by their hair. And then it took them days or weeks to heal. And that was Cassie. Because whenever that lady went to go try to help Cassie heal, because the lady said she was beat up pretty bad by Diddy, and she had to heal, and it took a long time for her to heal. I think that's the time, and that's a portion that I'm thinking about that this superseding indictment is talking about. So it says, following the assaults, Combs, with the assistance of members and associates of the enterprise, frequently worked to conceal his misconduct by offering to provide medical assistance or other financial benefits to the victims. So was he acting, saying, I'll pay you. I'm going to pay you. Just be quiet. Don't let nobody know that I didn't beat you up, that I gave you 24 pieces of chicken and 5 biscuits. I'm just saying, y'all, he didn't want nobody to know, because let me say this. I'm not no doctor at all, but I believe Diddy is a narcissistic little monster, right? Demonic monster, right? And when these demonic entities are in effect, they do these crazy things. They don't want nobody to know how much of a monster they are, right? They don't want nobody to know how much of a monster they are. So he was trying to bribe them with money and said, don't let nobody know that I didn't, slap you up and gave you 24 pieces and 3 biscuits to go. Don't let nobody know that, right? But when it was caught on camera, everybody was like, whoa, hold up, swole up. Is this what Diddy is doing? Because like I said, I have friends that was like, yes, that Tasmanian devil. Yes, he was. I have friends that was like, no, Diddy's a billionaire. He's a millionaire. Why would he take the time out to go and beat up girls and do all this other stuff? I don't believe that. I was like, oh, okay. And then when everybody seen him doing what he did to Cassie, oh man, my friends was like, oh my God, I can't believe that. Oh my God. Oh yes, absolutely. Y'all, when people are saying that somebody is doing something to them and it's like a couple 10, 12, 50, 11 people, and the common denominator was Diddy, y'all, what do y'all think? Who do y'all think is the problem? The common denominator, right? The common denominator was Diddy. All these years, he was always the common denominator, right? So, I mean, these situations was crazy, right? Yes, Diddy, Tasmanian devil. D-Dot says Tasmanian devil. Regular people go to jail faster than celebs. Yes. And let me say this. People who go out and steal like a TV or a Snickers bar, y'all, they be trying to hurry up and bombard them, try to tackle them down. Scraping up their knees and everything to get them in the handcuffs. But y'all have people like Diddy and people that's been doing all these crazy things. These people walking free as a bird. Like, they're okay to be out there knowing that they are over there violating everybody that they can under the sun, right? I'm telling you, it is so crazy. It is so crazy, y'all. It is so crazy. But this superseding indictment, you guys, it is talking about it has added the portion of forced labor. So forced labor meaning that he forced them to do things. He forced them to work, forced them to freak off. Because y'all remember, like I said, remember he said whenever he goes and, has his parties, he was telling Conan O'Brien this. He said, you got to lock the door, right? And he would not let them go. That is forcing somebody and holding somebody against their will, right? I mean, y'all, could y'all imagine, even if y'all did go voluntarily, which a lot of these girls probably did, even the men, they probably did. Look at Jonathan Audie. He was over there signing up for all kind of programs. I'm sure that Diddy was having. You want to be a freak off dragon? Jonathan Audie was like, yes, pick me. And he went there, and then he's looking around. He was ear hustling and hearing everything that was going on, and was like, oh my goodness, I did not know I signed up for this program. And then he got the hot box. He got the hot box, y'all. I mean, that's what they pass out. Everybody got the hot box. Everybody's having all kinds of issues down there and didn't even know that they were signing up for that program, right? I'm telling you, it's crazy. Jamil, my baby, says smash the like button, everybody. Yes, smash the like button. Everybody coming in the building, smash the like button, y'all. I'm telling you. This situation with Diddy, I'm telling you, it is really, really crazy. But as it gets closer, that to the 14th of March and the 5 May, I mean, he is going to have, Diddy probably over there shaking in his boots, right? I'm telling you, it's crazy. Did I say they call Usher? Oh yes, absolutely. Usher, he was he was passing out the hot box to Big Mama. Remember, Jamil, my baby, did a live, and he was talking about Big Mama then got the hot box from Usher. Like was it who was it? Orlando Brown saying Usher is a gusher. Y'all, I'm telling you, this is crazy. This is crazy. But this indictment is adding what is it called, the forced labor. This indictment is adding the forced labor, and it's crazy. It is really crazy as to what they are adding as forced labor, you guys. It's uh-oh, hold on. It's crazy because they're adding the forced labor, and like I said, is that the situation where like he was making them like hide stuff, making sure that nobody knew what he was doing? I mean, I believe probably so. I believe so. But let me see, because he Diddy got a lot out of this plate, y'all. I am just saying Diddy is going to be in trouble, because when you forcing somebody to work and do something against their will, and then you are like pretty much holding them hostage, that is a situation. And then transporting them get past state lines, and then across the waters, y'all. That's a trafficking charge. But I'm telling you, it is crazy. But you guys, I don't believe for one moment that Diddy is going to be off of these charges, or even said to have not done any of this stuff, as per his lawyer is saying. Because his lawyer, he's always saying, oh no, Diddy ain't trafficked nobody, him didn't do nothing, right? Okay, that's what you say, Mr. Agnifilio. But I believe that the feds know otherwise, right? I'm just saying, y'all. I am just saying, y'all. Let's listen to this right here.
Criminal charges should be thrown out over racism. Well, the prosecutors have just responded. Will his claims of discrimination and selective prosecution work? The government doesn't think so, and we're going to break down their counter-arguments for you right now. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Shout out to Law and Crime.
There is a big issue to talk about when it comes to Sean Diddy Combs' upcoming criminal trial, currently scheduled for May 5th, 2025. The question is, will the jury hear all 3 charges against him? Will the court throw out one of his charges, a charge that carries up to 10 years in federal prison? Why do I say that? Because the government has just responded to Combs' motion to toss out count 3 in the indictment, because essentially Combs has argued that it is built out of racism. Yes, that.
And then we do that video earlier talking about Diddy saying that that is racist of of what that charge was. Y'all, let's continue.
That is an argument that is being put forward. And before I even get into the government's recent response to this, and I'll give you my opinion at the end about how I think this is all going to shake up, I have to briefly take you back to what Combs argued in a motion from last month. So the main gist is that Combs is being selectively prosecuted because of his race. That's the argument put forward by he and his defense counsel. That what makes this case so, as they say, unprecedented is that, quote, no white person has ever been the target of a remotely similar prosecution. And really, the focus is on count 3 in the indictment, transportation to engage in prostitution. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to actually read you what this charge is from the superseding indictment in this case. It reads, from at least in or about 2009 up into and including in or about 2024 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Sean Combs knowingly transported individuals in interstate and foreign commerce with intent that the individuals engage in prostitution.
See, when he says international and foreign commerce right here, what we just read, y'all, that charge alone, like I said, if that is a people overseas foreign commerce, Diddy is going to, I'm telling you, he is already sinking sand really fast, right? Let's continue. Smash the like button. Y'all, let's get the likes up.
And attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused the same, to wit, Combs transported, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused the transportation of female victims and commercial sex workers in interstate and foreign commerce on multiple occasions with the intent that they engage in prostitution. Now, Sean Combs argues that these allegations, the ones that I just read you, have never been brought before under this specific statute, namely the Mann Act, or what it used to.
Hey, Depta, welcome in. We are going over this new added charge, which is Diddy is forced labor on the superseding indictment, and also talking about the racist thing that they pretty much told him, boy, go sit down somewhere.
To be referred to as the.
Let's skip this commercial. Yes, they basically, the feds are like, boy, if you don't go and sit down somewhere, Diddy, this is not about racist. It's nothing. You know, you did this, so you did the crime. You're gonna do the time. They're just saying, right?
And has a, quote, very troubling history as a statute with racist origins, that it was used to target black men and supposedly protect white women from them. That's a quote from Sean Combs' previous filing. And Combs explores that in his filing, explaining that the specific statute that makes up count 3 in his indictment, it was enacted by Congress in 1910. And that, quote, the statute was born out of hysteria that white slavers were preying upon young women, coercing them into prostitution through threats, intimidation, and force. Combs continues, the statute's target was black male sexuality, and from Jack Johnson to Chuck Berry, the statute's most notorious prosecutions targeted famous black men accused of deviant sexual behavior. This case continues the trend. So he starts by arguing that the charging decision in this case by prosecutors shows an improper bias, that there was a discriminatory effect and a discriminatory purpose. Keep those two in mind. We're going to talk a lot about it in a minute, a little bit later. And he argues that the use of escorts, that's common in America today, and that the actual service at issue in this case is a legitimate business. And although the name is redacted in his filing.
And I bet you guys, Diddy is probably listening to what? No, Diddy is probably controlling Mr. Agnifilio. He's probably trying to tell him what to say, what to do, not even realizing that Mr. Agnifilio, of course, we know he's a little slow, but he's probably like telling Diddy what to say, what to do. I mean, Diddy's probably telling Mr. Agnifilio what to say and what to do, and he's just blurting out stuff. But y'all, let's continue.
He says this is widely known, it is widely popularized, this service, and he points out, by the way, that neither that service nor its CEO, nor the escorts have ever been targeted by federal prosecutors in the Southern District before. They're not being criminally charged. And yet, he argues, no other person, including no white person, has ever been prosecuted under this act.
Okay, so basically you're saying that, you know, you need to go find the escorts and bring them in and bring them up on charges. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know, y'all.
Act for hiring male escorts from another state. But he claims he is the one who has been singled out, a very successful and powerful black man. Again, selective prosecution. And then he argues, look at other cases. Look at other high-profile white men who have or allegedly have engaged in similar conduct. And he cites former New York Governor Eliot Spitzer, who ultimately was in charge for allegedly being involved in an international prostitution service. So Combs' lawyers argue this is all circumstantial evidence of discrimination. And to further prove that, they argue the way prosecutors have handled this case shows a bias, that they have gone out of their way to humiliate Sean Combs, to prejudice a future jury pool with their pretrial publicity.
But y'all, I think, of course, it's probably with the stuff, like I said, that he was, remember, he sued Ciroc too. And Ciroc was a part of getting him to his billionaire status that he was. So when Diddy violated that, they probably like, oh, you getting too big for your britches. You trying to sue us? You trying to say this, we being prejudiced, but we help march them dollar bills into your account to make you the billionaire you are. Yo, I think that's a part of his takedown. I'm just saying, y'all, but let's continue.
Of the case. We're going to talk a lot about that a little bit later on too. So in the end, they argue either count 3 should be dismissed entirely, or in the alternative, they are asking the court that they order discovery regarding the government's charging decisions, meaning allow us to investigate why and how the government decided to bring this charge or these charges. Quote, to obtain discovery on a selective prosecution, a defendant need only produce some evidence of discriminatory effect and intent. In other words, a defendant will satisfy that preliminary burden by adducing, quote, some evidence that similarly situated defendants of other races could have been prosecuted, but were not. And that standard is easily met here. So that is the defense's argument. Throw out count 3, or at least allow us to investigate it about why it was brought, because there might be some racial undertones. By the way.
And the feds are like, Diddy, if you don't go sit out and have a couple of seats. Sir, that's not working. That's not working in the hands of the feds. So maybe you should have tried that with the state. But sir, go have a seat. Like, have the feds been making Diddy go and have a seat, right? See, he's not used to going and sitting down and having a seat. Is he not? Diddy's used to standing up and doing what he wants to do and sliding and gliding with the baby oil or the THC, THCL, whatever he had them bottles of baby oil. He's used to sliding and gliding through all these courts and doing all these crazy stuff to people. But now he's in the hands of the feds, and the feds ain't playing that. They're like, little boy, if you don't go sit down and have a seat, we ain't doing that. We ain't moving you to another place. You are going to sit here and you are going to, eat these charges, right? I mean, let's just be for real, y'all. Let's continue.
Little sidebar here. Imagine this. You help your little brother land a great job abroad, but when he arrives, that job doesn't exist. Instead, he is trapped in a heavily guarded compound, forced to sit at a computer and scam innocent victims while armed guards stand by with shoot-to-kill orders.
Wow.
Scam Factory, the explosive new true crime podcast.
Oh, let me skip this, you guys, because he's trying to do
Combs'
that.
face, but rat.
Hold on, before you pay for yet another.
Let me skip that. But y'all, yes, Diddy is gonna have a hard way to go. There's no way that he's gonna get away with that. And like I said, I think his lawyer, I don't know where he got him at, but he might want to return him there. But it's not gonna make no difference either way, because Diddy is, y'all, he is pinned to the wall. But y'all, let's continue.
Criminal conduct. And what is that conduct? Let's get a little more specific here, because what makes up the racketeering conspiracy charge, the sex trafficking charge, the prostitution charge? Well, the allegation is that Combs engaged in a pattern of abusing women, verbally, emotionally, physically, sexually, for years. And that included transporting women and commercial sex workers and coercing and forcing women to participate in sex acts for his own desire, that he would use drugs or threats or power to get them to do this, to get them to do what he wanted. And how did he carry all this out? Allegedly using his power, his resources, his business empire to carry all of this out, and his practices are violations of federal laws. So in other words, the government here explains that count 3, the counted issue, that transporting of people for purposes of prostitution, is exactly what makes up the core of this case. Quote, the indictment thus makes clear that the transportation alleged in count 3 served the defendant's abusive victims. That count alleges that the defendant transported the same victims identified in earlier paragraphs as victims of abuse. That count also alleges that the defendant transported commercial sex workers, which corresponds to the allegations in earlier paragraphs that the defendant coerced female victims to engage in sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. All three counts of the indictment, thus, on their face, charge a common course of conduct arising out of the defendant's abuse and sexual exploitation of multiple victims. Okay, so they're saying it's all connected here.
Wow.
So what does the law say about all this? Well, as the government explains, a defendant who is challenging the government's decision to prosecute, so not challenging the charges, but challenging the motive behind deciding to charge a defendant. In order to challenge that, the defendant bears a very heavy burden. And that's because prosecutors, quote, retain broad discretion to enforce the nation's criminal laws. And they cite case law in support of this. Now, I have to clear something up here. Selective prosecution is not a criminal defense. In other words, Combs' attorneys can't argue in front of a jury in May that prosecutors brought this case because they're racist, and therefore he should be found not guilty. It doesn't work that way. Arguing the prosecution hasn't met their burden of proof, or that everything was consensual, those are defenses. Not this. But, as a separate matter, as a way to get the charge potentially thrown out, you can argue selective prosecution. But as you can see, as I'm mentioning, it is not easy. What do you...
But still, whatever, selective process, I don't know. Did he this, I don't think this, of course, would it even stood a chance if it probably could, because Diddy has done so much, right? He has done so much, you guys. People, they are looking at him like, boy, if you don't sit down, you done did this, you done did that. You have 11 charges up against you. Why do you think for one moment we are about to let you walk with this one thing? Absolutely not.
You have to prove as a defendant in order to claim selective prosecution? Well, as the government lays out, quote, to establish a claim of selective prosecution, a defendant must present clear evidence that the decision to prosecute not only, one, had a discriminatory effect, but was also, two, motivated by a discriminatory purpose. It's like what we mentioned before in Combs' motion. Effect, purpose. And we're going to get a lot into that. So the government argues that Combs' motion fails to meet either prong. And we're going to break down why they say each prong doesn't work. But I thought this part was interesting before we even get into the prongs here. The prosecution writes, the defendant spills much ink detailing the origins of the statute charged in count 3, but he cites no law indicating that the legislative history of a statute has any bearing on either prong of a selective prosecution claim, and he makes no attempt to connect that history to the applicable test. Basically, they're saying all that stuff about the history of this law and all that, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to the analysis.
Yep.
So it made me wonder, are the prosecutors suggesting, yeah, you got a point, the law does have a troubling history, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter in terms of the analysis. So let's talk about the analysis. Let's talk about what a court's going to consider or potentially consider. Again, two-prong test to show selective prosecution. The first prong, discriminatory effect.
But I don't understand. Hold on, y'all. I don't understand. I know Diddy's lawyer, of course, he has to fight for, for trying to get him, justice or whatever. But Diddy has done so much that, I mean, anything that he's using, as we all see, from him trying to get bond, even from him, his lawyer trying to get him them try to drop one of the charges in the indictment. Y'all, it's not working. Like, nothing is sticking, right? Nothing at all is sticking. So, I mean, y'all, let's continue to listen, though. I mean, this is Diddy's not, he's gonna be like really, really upset by the time.
Discriminatory.
Diddy's gonna be upset. Hold on, you guys. Diddy's gonna be upset because he's not gonna get anything that he wants. But yeah, let me skip this commercial. Diddy is going to be locked up. They won't let him out for the rest of his life. I don't really think that they're gonna give him not even a few years. I think they're gonna give him a lot and way more than what people are even thinking. But I mean, we gonna see. Hold on just a second. Let me go back to this. But yeah, his back is so far up against the wall, it's not going to happen like he wants it to happen. His lawyer is already showing that he is not even to me competent. Now I'm just saying, that's just how I feel. He is not competent to kind of fight, any of these charges and any of these things that Diddy is said to have done. But that's just me, y'all. That's just me, because I don't think he's competent at all. I think he probably needs to, get some help. But Mr. Rico, he fell off. He was like, I can't, fight these charges. But we gonna see, y'all. We gonna see. Let's continue.
Let's talk about the analysis. Let's talk about what a court's going to consider or potentially consider. Again, two-pronged test to show selective prosecution. The first prong, discriminatory effect. So to prove discriminatory effect, a defendant has to establish that others in a similar situation to Sean Combs have been treated differently, like they weren't prosecuted and that Combs was, that he was singled out. And the prosecutors first addressed Combs citing other situations, like the Elliot Spitzer case that I mentioned before, or Combs mentions this as well, how clients of that escort service that he may or may not have used, the one that's at issue, that they weren't charged under the Mann Act. And then also, Sean Combs referenced this, the scandal surrounding Jerry Falwell Jr., who allegedly had another man have sex with his wife as he watched. And again, those are similar allegations that are made about Combs, that he brought people into his sexual relationships and all that. So Combs cites that one for the idea that couples sometimes have a third party join them.
But at the same time, what Diddy's lawyer is not seeing is that Diddy has done so much over the 30 years. Not to try to protect what these other people, because these other people that have done these disgusting things, I mean, they are wrong too. Just like the guy, what's his name, the CEO, the ex-CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch. But what Diddy doesn't realize, that he is Diddy, right? He's more famous than these people, right? On top of that, Diddy has 11 charges. Remember the lawsuits were like flying out. I mean, truckloads of lawsuits saying that Diddy did this, Diddy did that, because along the years, nobody was supposed to tell on Diddy, right? Nobody was supposed to tell on this person. Nobody was supposed to tell on that person who's moguls, right? So this is where Diddy, I believe the way they are looking at it, I may be wrong, is because Diddy is who he is, and he's done so much dirt along the way that they're like, okay, we can't, no, no, absolutely not. They're not allowed to even, I feel like not even care or to take his word on anything. Like, of course, like when he tried to go get that apartment, they're like, no, no, absolutely not. When all this stuff, they are just pretty much, I believe it's because what he's done so many things. Other people that have done these things, they're wrong too, like I said, but at the same time, their dirt is not, their dirt mound is not as high as Diddy's. But wrong is wrong, no matter how you slice it. But let's continue.
And that's not a crime. That's not a crime that's been prosecuted. So prosecutors looked at all that and they say, none of these people are in the same situation or facing the same kind of allegations as Sean Combs. They don't have the same kind of aggravating factors like in Sean Combs' criminal case. So first, prosecutors explain how Combs is accused of sex trafficking multiple victims through force, fraud, and or coercion, and coercing them into commercial sex acts, including with male escorts. That's why he's accused of violating the Mann Act. This is not like any of those other incidents cited by Combs. Second, they argue Combs carried out the transportation of victims by using force, fraud, and or coercion in order to cause those victims to engage in commercial sex acts, and that this was all part of a larger, broader pattern of racketeering acts.
So basically he was bringing those people, transporting those victims, what they say, across state line and even basically like internationally, that he was doing this, and then probably doing it in a way where once they probably got into whatever the airplane or whatever they were transporting them in, it became an ugly situation, right? I'm just saying. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that I believe that like the judge is even looking at. And plus some of the stuff that I'm sure that we haven't seen, we don't even know of, has been probably presented. And then, the judge is like, oh, absolutely not. All these things that he's trying to get thrown out or taken off of the superseding indictment is like not even going to happen. But y'all, let's continue.
activity. In other words, the Mann Act, or the White Slavery Trafficking Act that Combs has an issue with, count 3, the one he wants to throw out, that charge stands together with other underlying crimes to make up the specific racketeering charge that he faces, racketeering conspiracy. And racketeering conspiracy, what Combs is facing, is that there was an agreement to further a criminal enterprise. And prosecutors argue here that the transporting to engage in prostitution, count 3, stands together with other underlying crimes of the criminal enterprise, like arson, narcotics distribution, bribery, obstruction. It's all part of the same thing. There's a connection here. And that this alleged conduct overlaps, and in the same way Combs used his...
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like they were saying, like he was bribing people, and then he was, in the superseding indictment that I read, he was having them, come and do things, do a little something strange for a little bit of change and paying their rent, paying, giving them money and everything, y'all. When you're paying for it, paying for Rex, that is really, prostitution pretty much when you have all these people coming. Did they have them coming by the airplane, by the bus load? I'm just saying, whenever you're calling somebody from UK, tell them, hey, come over here, let's have a freak off, blah, blah. We already know what that kind of looks like, right? But when they got over there, like I said, some of them probably were willing to come, probably like, hey, girl, yeah, Diddy got this freak off, you can get paid. Yeah, he's paying, blah, blah. And then when they went over there, they got there, they was, what they say, they were given water, alcohols, they were locked in a room, the heat was turned on high, and they didn't sign up for that program, right? But they was probably like, oh my God, what is going on? And then probably the ones that were more irate and loud, that's the ones I think that he was probably paying that 10,000 hush money and tell them to get on about their business, get out of here and don't come back, and I don't ever want to see you again. But it was all still the same thing. It was trafficking. It was, for the purposes of Rex. So I'm just saying, yes, Depp, the hostage. Yes, he was holding him hostage. And some people like me, I would probably been kicking the doors. I probably been kicking the walls. I probably would have been screaming, snatching the mattress off the bed and everything. And I ain't signed up for this program. I've been snapping like a bucket of crabs. Did some of those ones that got paid to 10,000, were they snapping like a bucket of crabs and he was trying to hurry up and get them out there? I do believe so. I believe so. He was probably like, oh no, we can't. Because one thing about narcissists, if you guys have never experienced a narcissist, they want the victims to be quiet, to shut up. They want to isolate them. They don't want them talking back. And when you talk back to them, they flipping out, or they want to hurry up and get you out of there because they know they can't control you. But that's just how it is. I mean, point blank, that's how it is. But y'all, let's continue.
Power and his resources to allegedly build an illegal criminal empire. He also allegedly used his power and resources to fund transporting people for purposes of prostitution. That's the allegation. And all of that to say this, quote, nothing in the motion, nothing in Sean Combs' motion, suggests that Spitzer, Falwell, or the other clients of the escort services transported escorts as part of a pattern of racketeering activity, or that they committed any other crimes whatsoever during the same period when they engaged in commercial sex. That distinction further widens the already vast distance between the defendant's conduct and the examples he raises in his motion. Third, prosecutors argue that Sean Combs is ignoring that he allegedly violated the Mann Act not just by transporting escorts, it's not that simple, but also transporting victims of sex trafficking. So therefore, you can't really cite other people who just simply paid escorts. This is very different. Quote, examples of other individuals who may have paid escorts but were not involved in the transportation of victims of trafficking are thus inapt. Fourth, they argue Combs doesn't show that those other people he mentioned, they would have even met the elements of the Mann Act to be charged. That Combs doesn't cite any evidence that Spitzer, Falwell, or the other clients of that escort service transported anyone across state lines for purposes of commercial sex. And there's no indication that Falwell even paid anyone to engage in sex acts. Rather, the article that Combs cited in his motion about Jerry Falwell Jr., all that article simply suggests is that a third party consensually participated in sex acts with Falwell and his spouse. So in other words, this goes to a larger argument put forward by the prosecution that this case isn't about simply Sean Combs having group sex or inviting somebody in to have sex with a partner of his while he watched. It's much wider than that. So the government explains it best like this, that if Combs really wanted to make the proper comparison about somebody who was just like him and wasn't charged like he was, quote, far afield from the examples cited by the defendant, a similarly situated individual to the defendant would be somebody who engaged in violence and coercion as part of a pattern of racketeering activity and who transported not only escorts but also victims of that violence and coercion. Because the defendant's alleged criminal conduct is considerably more serious than anything he accuses these individuals of, he has failed to identify any similarly situated individuals who were not charged. This is fatal to his claim. And also prosecute.
Y'all, I just don't think, like I said, there has been so much that Diddy has done, right? So all of this stuff where he's trying to compare other people, yes, we know he probably feels, oh, it's not fair that they did this, but it was the way Diddy was moving, right? Diddy was doing a lot of stuff that it was like, come on, you're like, you know how when you do stuff, you kind of like setting off a radar for a light to go off, like when you're doing something and you know you're like pushing it to the limits. That's how I feel Diddy was. Diddy was pushing things all the way to the limits. Was he not? He was pushing things to the limits. So when he's over here trying to justify what that person was doing, even though we know they are all wrong. Hey, Tammy, welcome in. Welcome in. Even though we know that Diddy and all these people were doing horrible things, right? Diddy is trying to justify, well, this and what I did that and this, what about this and what about that? No, Diddy, you was pushing things to the limits. Even though they were doing dirt, like I said, Diddy was pushing it to the limits, right? And now he's over here trying to justify and trying to compare and stuff. They don't want to hear that because he was doing all kind of stuff, right? He was violating the law in so many different ways, up, down, north, south, east, and west. All the way to overseas, doing all kind of things that this is why I believe that he is being treated like this. People are saying, oh, because he's a black man and blah, blah. That has nothing to do. Diddy was doing a whole lot of violating, right? He was doing a whole lot of violating, a whole lot of lying, a whole lot of stealing. Making these, what was really sad, you guys, too. Let me say this. What was really sad to most of was, do y'all remember Day 26? Remember when they went on, I think it was DJ Vlad, and they were all crying? They were all crying. It was sad. It was like, darn, what did they experience with Diddy? Like, I know Diddy was stealing folks' money, stealing the making of the band and all their other people, Mason, all kind of other people, stealing their money. They were suffering through their life, at a certain time, financial wise. But they were stealing and he was stealing and doing all this kind of stuff. And then I think probably taking the money and doing freak offs. If he was paying these people all this money, where did you get all this money to go and have all these lavish parties, the lavish freak offs? I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. But he was doing all kind of other stuff to try to and then trying to like justify it. Like, well, why didn't the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, and why come this, why come that? Diddy, you have a whole lot more on your plate than what they did, even though I'm not justifying what they did because they are all demonic entities in my eyes. But what Diddy was doing, he was pushing it to the limits. Was he not, y'all? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think that Diddy was pushing it way past beyond the limits. Let's just say that he was pushing it way past the limits. And that's why all of this stuff that he's trying to ask for, they're looking at him like, boy, if you don't go sit down, you want to talk about being prejudiced? No. You want to go get a mountain apartment over there in Manhattan off the hilltops because the prison is nasty? Oh no, absolutely not. He was pushing it to the limits, and that's why the judge, everybody is like, no, Diddy, no. And Diddy's trying all kind of stuff, and it's a constant no. Get somebody else to do it. Go sit down, have a seat. We will see you on March 14th and then May 5th, right? That's why, because he is pushing it to the limits. He don't know how to act. We seen Diddy act acting, even I was talking to Jamil. I didn't really watch Making of the Band, but y'all, they were saying if you guys watched Making of the Band, years ago when it was on, did not they say that Diddy was being disgusting to those people? Like he was talking to them crazy, yelling. Like, I mean, when he came in the door, it's like they were all scared and intimidated. Like, who wants to go to work or who wants to work around somebody like that, right? Who wants to be around somebody where you walk in the door, you open the door, and then you're like scared and intimidated, and oh my God, I feel like, oh my God, who wants to feel like that? That's why they deeming Diddy to be a whole threat, because as he gained power, he became very narcissistic, more narcissistic. I mean, extremely narcissistic, talking crazy to people, treating people like boo-boo on the bottom of his shoes, right? So, that's another reason why they're like, oh, no, you're not getting out, Diddy. You might as well go and have a seat. Absolutely not. Plus, you got some goons. You got goons that go and take care of your situations. Oh, no, no, no. Absolutely not. We're not. Even his sons was acting up. Cutting the rug, in the streets. No. So Diddy got to sit down and he got to think about what he did, because he was pushing it to the limits, right? He was pushing it to the limits. Ken says poo-poo. Yeah, he was, he boo-boo on the bottom of his shoe, right? I'm telling you, he was doing a lot. He was doing a lot. I mean, needless to say, he was doing a lot. But y'all, we gonna see what's gonna happen, because the superseding indictment came out, adding that to the superseding indictment of forced labor. Like I said, I'm not sure if that portion of the forced labor is with the situation with Little Rodney, and it could have been with a lot too, right? I mean, a lot of other stuff about forced labor, about them working. Remember, he had the chef. Remember that he did bad stuff too. He had like all kind of people that was working for him and doing all kind of stuff and threatening them and doing all kind of awful things to them. But y'all, I'm telling you, this Diddy, with this portion of the superseding indictment, this added portion of forced labor, this is going to be telling a lot. I mean, he has to go and see the people. He got to go and see the feds on the 14th, y'all. So y'all know I'm gonna go live, because I want to see what that court is going to entail. Even though it's not going to be live, it's going to probably be like a long crime. Somebody's inside reporting that on the 14th. But we want to go, Jamil, I want to go on the 5th to New York to see the main court date that was originally set, the 5th of May. We want to go and see that. But y'all, we gonna keep y'all in the loop. We gonna continue to see what's going on the superseding indictment, because like I said, this one hit today earlier, and I read most of it, pretty much a lot of it. But the main thing is that the forced labor was added to it. So I don't know. We gonna see what's going to happen, because Diddy is already pretty much nailed to the cross. Needless to say, he's innocent until proven guilty. But y'all, I'm telling you, them nails is already nailed him into the cross. I'm just saying, y'all. But y'all, thanks for stopping in. As I say, always lead with love, peace, and tranquility. Thanks for stopping in. Y'all, smash the like button as you guys come in. If you guys on the replay or on the way out on the live, y'all, thank you guys. Thank you. And y'all, we will see y'all on the next live.